Okay, we should be live. A bit of a delay. So what's up? Go live. Should be already live in OBS, but it doesn't. Pretty sure it works, but not on my phone for some reason. Okay, now it's working. Excellent connection. That's great. We are on Zoom as well. If you want to join in, please use this link and we want to share it. I really don't like the LinkedIn interface. Yes, that's working okay. We're doing this Kaggle. Sorry for that. Doing this Kaggle competition. We have this data set and we pre-viewing the data, doing some pre-processing, basic processing. The data contains, it's a good example. What's it, 6,000, 60,000, 65,000 annotated figures of different kinds. So we're loading all the figures in here. We're doing it natively on my machine. I tried using some code example on Kaggle itself, which has their own Jupyter notebook running or something, but I didn't have much luck with that. It's either was giving me some errors or had to wait for the hardware to be available. There's some sort of a waiting list. Yeah, there's a few problems with that. Of course, the images used to scale, but then I disabled the scaling, so the probably need this in a separate window. Yeah, so there's a lot of things that we could fix there, but we will we'll leave this one as is. In the fourth figure there, we're trying to filter the lines being detected into finding one large L-shape line, because in most figures like here, you would have it as so what happened to that would be the x-axis, so then you can do the text above, on the side, and below. Most of the figures they are in this format. I don't think there's any that have a secondary y-axis. Then we need to find the data in it. So we'll do data point detection. We have a list of common data points. Tick type label. I thought, yeah, coordinates niche tick. No values type. Visual element is get part of the figure representing the data series. All elements. I don't know what will be in visual elements. The other thing to understand this data set a bit better, we would also like to do the opposite, to generate. So we created this, we start a new ChatGPT thing. We want to generate graph from JSON file. The JSON files are in this folder. We could use both Plotly or Matplotlib, doesn't matter. I use either or. Now, now we have then later we would like to convert the graph into JPEG image file and reduce its quality. That's what probably these guys are using to generate the images, because I haven't mentioned it before, but some of them are all of them not real. They're being synthetically generated. Most of them only MATLAB, and then so the JSON file contains all this. We took it from the description, so it has the. So we don't care at the moment if it's extracted or generated. We do care about the chart type, the bounding box, so all the elements in the image. And let's see if it gives us anything useful.
To generate a graph from a JSON file using either Plotly or Matplotlib, you'll need to parse the JSON data and extract the necessary information for plotting. Here's an example code snippet using Plotly.
Okay, so it's reverted to use Plotly. The folder path, retrieve list of JSON files. Right. So it's pretty good. So yes, those are the chart types that we need to detect, but in this case we'll try to do the reverse, generate them. But then, okay, did it finish? I'm gonna read the code, of course.
This code snippet demonstrates how to process different chart types from JSON files and create the corresponding plots using Plotly. You can adapt the code as per your specific JSON structure and requirements. If you prefer using Matplotlib instead of Plotly, you can replace the relevant plot generation code with the corresponding Matplotlib functions and syntax.
So Plotly should be okay. Problem is that this code, 70 lines or so, does not actually generate the types. Does it? We can try running it, but So that just would be just a template, but it's not actually using the data from the JSON file. JSON files. It is loading something from JSON file. No, it's just an example code, right? The JSON file does have a data series in it. Save this as graph. This is not doing it, but we'll give it a go. First, we're getting an error. What? Didn't generate the code.
Apologies for the confusion. It seems that there was an error in the code. The error message you encountered suggests that you are trying to access a list using a string as an index, which is not allowed. To help you further, could you please provide an example of the JSON file content you're working with? This will allow me to modify the code appropriately and assist you in generating the graph correctly.
Right. Okay, let's give it. Have to listen to the bot. We'll give it the JSON file. JSON files also like very different sizes. I'll give the first one on the list. Too long? Did it include everything? 872, yep.
Thank you for providing the JSON file content. Based on the provided JSON structure, I will guide you on how to generate a graph using Plotly. Here's a modified code that parses the JSON file and generates a vertical bar graph using Plotly.
It is taking extract data, chat type, data series.
Make sure to replace your underscore file, JSON with the actual file name of the JSON file you want to plot. Also, make sure you have the Plotly library installed, pip install Plotly, before running the code. This code will generate a vertical bar graph using the provided data series, with the x-axis representing the country names and the y-axis representing the population values.
Is a vertical country names, population values. Yep, it's country, population. So it's extracted that correctly. Well, there's two things we need to fix. I thought we already given it all the no limit to the text box of like how many characters you can put in this box, is there? Obviously this code doesn't work. Right, generated plotly. And where's the this is nice. We would like a window where we see the original figure. Add code that retrieves the list of image file in folder. See if it gets this.
To retrieve the corresponding image file and display it alongside the generated graph, you can use the pill library to load and show the image. Here's an updated version of the code that includes loading and displaying the image. Make sure to replace your _image.png with the actual file name and extension of the image file corresponding to the JSON file. This code will generate the vertical bar graph using Plotly and then display the corresponding image using the pill library.
Yeah, I want to turn your your file into a variable called file, and let's see if it should have just one variable for both of this. No, that didn't work. Okay, the JSON file is called what? Okay. Why is it PNG? It should be a JPEG. Okay, it's pretty good. Well, I mean that's using the should be good because it's using the ground truth for the image. We need to reverse this. And then you can improve the graph, so that's why we're doing it. So that's the original image. That's the digitized version of it. There's actual values, the text boxes and stuff. Um, we could export this as a PNG. The original one is JPEG. And then reduce, we could reduce its quality so it looks more like the original. But we would not do that now. So this is a handy code. It made a few mistakes, so it has to be we want a variable and make it scrollable. Um, that is the corresponding file. Train images. There's a folder called in the train folder. We have to begin. That question, would it extrapolate what it has done? Because this one assuming a bar chart. Yeah, I have to. Well, yes, as the competition suggests, you need to first find which type of chart it is and then extract the data. Can Plotly load an image as well? Surely it can. Gerbo scenario. Still a placeholder. The image is JPEG. We want to add what's it called? Okay, that's JPEG. Image and graph onto the same window.
To add the image and graph onto the same window, you can use the subplots functionality provided by the Matplotlib library. Here's an updated code snippet that incorporates both the graph and image into a single window. In the code, replace your _image.jpg with the actual file name and extension of your JPG image file. This code will create a bar graph using Matplotlib and display the corresponding JPG image alongside the graph in the same window. Feel free to adjust the position and size of the image within the plot by modifying the values in fig.add_axes, x, y, width, height. To create a GUI with a mouse scroller that opens and views JPG files one by one from a folder, you can use the Detector library in Python. Here's an example code that accomplishes this.
It's the wrong folder. That won't do it. This one is not using a pyplot anymore. Can do it in with masculine open field the graph generate it on JSON alongside files. Folder. Uh, Views graph generated from JSON alongside JPEG files one by one. In a folder, the image files are JSON files in folder same one but annotations.
To create a Plotly GUI with a mouse scroller that opens and views graphs generated from JSON alongside JPG files one by one in a folder, you can use the Dash library, which is built on top of Plotly. Here's an example code that demonstrates this.
Doesn't sound right. So this one is working okay, just different windows. We'll keep that. Then later I have to combine all this.
Make sure to install the required dependencies by running pip install --core components html components below. In this code, the Dash app is created with a layout that includes a graph, an image, and a slider. The slider allows you to navigate through the images in the folder. When you change the slider value, the corresponding graph is generated from the JSON file and displayed, along with the corresponding image. Adjust the folder paths image_folder and JSON_folder to match the actual paths to your image and JSON file folders.
Right. Now, yeah, this one's still assuming a bar. What was it, vertical or horizontal? The JSON to graph with original image. The graph. Something is missing. Don't have dash. Dash. Yeah, we need dash. We need a. We need this line. Oops. And then we need to do pip install dash. Grapes need to be dash. Installing, yes.
Make sure to install the required dependencies by running pip install -- core components html components below.
That's already.
In this code, the Dash app is created with a layout that includes a graph, an image, and a slider. The slider allows you to navigate through the images in the folder. When you change the slider value, the corresponding graph is generated from the JSON file and displayed, along with the corresponding image. Adjust the folder paths image_folder and JSON_folder to match the actual paths to your image and JSON file folders.
What's this scrolling through? Get the list of images. Date content. Right. Join. Yep. JSON. Yeah. Yeah, it's similar to what we had before. Right, so we have graph viewer. What the? That was super slow. There's something wrong. I can replace this one. No, it's okay. We'll do. We won't delete stuff. Something isn't right.
I apologize for the outdated information. It seems that the --HTML_components package has been deprecated, and the recommended approach is to import HTML from the dash package directly. To resolve the issue, replace the line import --HTML_components as HTML with from -import HTML. Here's the updated import statement.
It's loading forever. Doing something, updating. It's super slow. So this is what the dashboard looks like at the moment. What the? So the surface, no errors. That's good. It actually, is it updating? Yeah, updating. It's super slow. And there's another thing that got deprecated. Core components. This be any faster? Interestingly, this updates like on the fly. I'll just put it on our screen for a sec. If I do this, yep, it's updating the server, which is good. Debugging is on. Okay. Turn it. It's like scrolling through the thing by itself. This being hidden there, yes, it's plotly. Yeah, real graph. Already updated it, but it didn't. It's as if it's ignoring it. Now it's loaded a graph. There's still no image alongside it. It's scalable, which is nice. Is that meant to be the image or something? There are two scroll bars. I don't know why. Should be only one. And they're meant to be the original graph, the original uh, JPEG. Let's see it.
To add a JPEG image to the Dash app, you can use the HTML img component. Here's an example of how you can include a JPEG image in your Dash app. In this example, replace your underscore image.jpg with the file name of your JPEG image. The HTML img component takes the src attribute, which should be set to the path of your image file.
Apply the image. It's just not there. They're meant to be the original image with the graph. It would be also good to turn the debug mode off. So I want to be able to test it with compare it to the original image side by side. Pretty sure it said the images in there, define the layout of the app, graph view, image, max HTML image. There's something, I don't know why there's two sliders instead of just one. Second slider is just the same as the first one. And now it's as if it's reverted to like the original thing. So how about module name dash? Right, so over here, this is where, So this is what it's generating at the moment.
Make sure to install the required dependencies by running pip install -- core components html components below. In this code, the Dash app is created with a layout that includes a graph, an image, and a slider. The slider allows you to navigate through the images in the folder. When you change the slider value, the corresponding graph is generated from the JSON file and displayed, along with the corresponding image. Adjust the folder paths image_folder and JSON_folder to match the actual paths to your image and JSON file folders. You can run this script, and it will start a local server where you can access the GUI and interact with the slider to view different graphs and images. Apologies for the oversight. In order to display the image on the dashboard, you need to encode the image as a base 64 string and use it as the src attribute for the HTML img component. Here's the updated code with the necessary modifications.
So we have one slide that code is the same. I don't know why it's regenerated the whole thing. I didn't ask for it. It to be the same so far. There's a bit here. Create an image source URL. And hopefully it will place it in the same place. Yes.
Make sure to install the required dependencies by running pip install -- core components html components below.
We want it on the same window. This thing interesting that's just updating. Right, it's the same same server, so it's loading the server. Right, now I can see the image. Right, and it only, well, now it's assuming it's a line. Seem to be corresponding to that. Yeah, the things are correct, but I don't know why. Before it did plot them in, as vertical bar chart. Now it's decided it's a line chart instead. And pretty sure it was doing it before. If you search for bar, horizontal bar, yeah, horizontal bar. Wait, and it got rid of that code, which is not good. It's like, yeah, well, yeah, it's programming really like a human in terms of it will solve the new thing, but then will stuff up all the previous things that used to work. That's a bit frustrating. So it is doing something useful though. It's still in this debugging mode. It's still super slow. Yeah, this bar is not really responsive, is it? Yeah, it's updating now. Why does it take forever? So originally it had the trouble, and it actually asked to give it an example of the JSON file which has all this data in it. And now it's kind of ignoring it. Up to the original code actually was nice because it was a template. It didn't actually do anything, but it was a better template where it will have the different conditions for different types of charts. So you had your if statements, but then it wouldn't actually So we need to combine this two. Yeah. Pa, 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 pa. Image graph onto the same window. Plotly with a scroller. Did that. I don't know why there's two scrollers. Is the one scroller for the. They are corresponding to one another, right? Yeah, it's got a good idea, but not very useful because it's not responsive. Yes. Okay, so it added the image correctly this time. Um, Combine prompts. I don't know. Might take a while. Someone watching, you can have the same thing on Zoom if you want to join the discussion live. So I don't have to talk to ChatGPT.
Certainly. Here's a combined code that retrieves JSON files and corresponding image files from their respective folders and creates a plotly way with a mouse scroller to view the graphs and images one by one.
Okay. Layout of the app. Go back. Load the JSON. Chat. Okay. This is interesting. So it has a variable for chat type, which is what we want. No, it had the variable before, but it didn't retrieve it correctly. Extract from JSON, load file, chat type.
Make sure to install the required dependencies by running pip install -- core components html components below. This code will create a plotly GUI with a slider that allows you to navigate through the JSON files and view the corresponding graphs and images one by one.
Just run it in Chrome. Wasn't there because I use that's different, isn't it? Right. There's the chat and it's still super slow. I guess that's the debugging icon. Let's try it again. Papa. Ah, the same thing. Again, I don't know where it's getting the line chart. It should be, if it loaded the correct, which it seemed to be. Yeah, population country is going up and down and has this peak. Yeah. But why is it the line chart? It should have. Uh, yeah, this chart type is incorrect. Chart type is incorrect. Yeah, and those can be ignored for now. Yes, it's deprecated, but it still works, so don't care. Chart type. What? So what was the problem? And it's generating the whole code. Yep, dash up, that's fine. The layout, okay. Still don't know why there are two sliders, but okay, that's the same. Image open, get the corresponding image file, load the image using PIL, get the JSON file, load the JSON file, extract data from JSON. Right, so extract data from JSON. We'll change the what is it actually called? We had it open somewhere. Don't see it. We have the actual JSON. Did it pulled out the wrong code chart type with a dash? So it was correct the first time around. And that's odd. The rest is, I assume, the same. Seems to be. So what is it saying?
Please note that I assumed the key in the JSON file for the chart type is chart type. You may need to adjust it based on the actual key in your JSON structure.
Why don't you do that? What? And the first time it was actually correct. This is. Yeah. Then Plotly must have not liked the the actual value. I just took the and just resorted to default. Doesn't actually matter. Like if we convert, I actually like those. Do we care? What if we converted all the bar charts into line plots? Could convert them by need back to a bar chart later or something. I'm more worried about that this thing is not actually responsive or doing much. The slider. I think this value should be actually so it picked it up correctly. It's just that when it's creating the plotly figure, The type is not correct, is it? Right, so this is another one. No, the scroller didn't actually move, but okay. I moved it, it loaded another image. Ah, yeah, well, yeah, so that obviously, yeah, that plotly is all digitized, it's the original image, and we're retrieving that, but we have cheating in a sense. We're just looking at the label of the data, so we don't. What we need to do is make it automatically detect that. So for that, would these two things work together? That's the original. No, it won't. You need to stop the server. We can run the server. We have the HTML file for it, don't we? We could host it on, well, if we fix, maybe if we fix this. Okay, shut up. So it can, for whatever reason, it can't actually. Chat app is correct. The one with the dash. This was correct. Um, Chat type. Where is it? We need to convert this into a plotly. Add conversion. Maybe can we do the same with matplotlib? Because I feel like those original labels for the chart type would have been in the taken from some sort of tool. Don't believe they were made up. Or we could try converting it into a to add conversion of chat type into plotly chat type, as in an actual a name that plotly is using.
To convert the chart underscore type extracted from the JSON into the corresponding plotly chart type, you can add a dictionary mapping the chart types. Here's the modified code.
Dictionary map. Dictionary map. Chat type mapping. What? Why is line a scatter and bar is bar and scatter and scatter? That's weird. Line should be line. Does it have line? And is it then actually using this thing? Yeah, it's stuffing up dot plots entirely. This one is okay. Well, then next, the main thing we need to figure out is how do we generate the JSON file like that, like this, from this figure. So actually, I don't mind that converting them all into lines with data points. But I don't think that's what the competition entails, but yeah.
This code includes a chart underscore type underscore mapping dictionary that maps the chart underscore type extracted from the JSON to the corresponding plotly chart type. It is then used to create the appropriate plotly chart object. The rest of the code remains the same as before.
Did it have this debug thing? Debug. No, it didn't. Just edit it now. Okay. Yeah, this dictionary mapping. We need to get it right. We have the graph convention. Let's be, yeah, just put version 2. It's spinning out the same. Right. So what's up with that? I had to close. Uh, so what are the mappings that Plotly would want? What chat types? Plotly the chart types. Right, so we have, what do we have in the data? We have dot, horizontal bar, vertical bar, line, and scatter. Let's go from the end. Okay, so scatter is G scatter. What doesn't look right? Ah, there's a dash. Okay. So we have scatter, scatter. Then we have line. Should be line. It should be line. And bar is bar. Right, then we have line is line. Then we have horizontal bar. Then we have vertical bar. Bar. So bar is vertical. Bar polar. Just change the orientation to H. We'll just leave it as vertical. We need we'll need to add Orientation. Don't have it in here. We'll see. Right. And it will stuff up horizontal bar. Yeah, we'll leave it as go bar, horizontal bar, dot as scatter. Keeps reverting a line into scatter.
In this mapping, dot refers to a scatter plot with markers only, horizontal underscore bar refers to a horizontal bar chart, and vertical underscore bar refers to a vertical bar chart. Feel free to modify the mapping or add more chart types as needed.
Yeah, let's wrap it up. Can't get anything better out of it, but the dashboard is working, it's doing something useful. It's showing the original image and the image that was generated from the ground truth label of the original image. So we have that other code. We turn it into another a dashboard, like dashboards.
I apologize for the inconvenience. The performance of the Dash application can depend on various factors, including the complexity of the data and the hardware specifications of your machine. To improve the responsiveness of the Dash application, you can try the following optimizations. Reduce the amount of data being rendered. If the JSON files or image files are large, consider reducing their size or loading a smaller subset of the data initially. You can implement pagination or lazy loading techniques to load data progressively as the user interacts with the application. Implement data caching. Instead of reading the JSON files and image files from disk every time the application is refreshed, you can cache the data in memory or use a database for faster retrieval. Optimize the code. Review the code to identify any performance bottlenecks or inefficient operations. Consider using appropriate data structures, optimizing loops, and leveraging parallel processing if applicable. Regarding the scroll bars, it's likely that the scroll bars are appearing due to the content exceeding the available space in the application window. You can try adjusting the layout or dimensions of the components to ensure that they fit within the available space without the need for scroll bars. If the performance issues persist or you need further assistance, please provide more details about your specific implementation, including the code and any error messages, so that I can help you better.
Also check finally, yeah, we wanna probably load all these images onto the GPU. Need to learn how to do it. Checking the right. It's using CPU mostly. Right. What happens if we close the dash? Get a line. The lines were deprecated. That's probably why it told me to use scatter plots to begin with. Let's stop this. This dash still running. It shouldn't be running. It is running. Ah, there's an error. Yeah, we'll say the server isn't running. But it's like, yeah, super slow. So we had the we had a limit on the motherboard power usage. So I removed that. Let's see. Callback failed. Yeah, of course. Error, servers down. Servers down. Oh no. Yeah, still slow. CPU and everything's going, but right, so I can hear it. It seems like mostly using CPU. Be jumping over here. Yeah, I have to test it some more actually. Oh, it is a bit quicker. Right. Yeah. This plot uh it's interesting because it's you see all these differences, and obviously you can only see them because the plot doesn't go all the way to zero. So that's not a great practice. Don't publish anything like that. There's essentially no change. Yeah, because all the numbers are saturated. They're around 98 or whatever. So either yeah normalize elsewhere or right now it is quicker. So my thing was limiting my um, server capacity. Now it's quicker, a bit quicker, not by much. Can actually, it's not actually scrollable. It's just a few examples, and the other question is how do I run multiple of the multiple of these things? Yes, so there's still a lot of work. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.